So hello and welcome to this week's video on my channel Akasha Love. I am Shell. Welcome to this channel. This is a place where we talk about self-love, self-honor, self-respect, healing, overcoming any inner stuckness, overcoming people-pleasing, overcoming codependency to become your most radiant self. So today I am here in Mallorca, still in Palma de Mallorca, and I'm here today in the beautiful Bishop's Garden. I might show you a little bit of that at the end. So today I wanted to talk about saying sorry and what is a real apology and what is a false or a fake apology. And why is it so hard for people to say sorry sometimes? So let's start with what is a false apology? Saying, I'm sorry that you went through that. I'm sorry you had that experience. I'm sorry you felt that way. I'm sorry you saw it in that way. All of these are not real apologies. The sun is coming out. So why are these not real apologies? Because they're all focused on, directed at the person that is receiving the apology, the you person. So the person who's apologizing is making that apology all about the other person and their experience, and not actually taking any responsibility for their behavior. So instead of actually taking responsibility for their own behavior, which caused whatever was the situation for the other person, they're throwing that all back on the other person and saying that it's kind of their fault that they had that experience, even though that experience was had because of the behavior of the person who's apologizing. So it's basically a fake apology. It's basically avoiding a real apology and instead kind of throwing it all back on the person that they're trying to apologize to. So what is a real apology then? Let's focus on that. A real apology is when somebody says sorry and actually means it, when it comes from their heart, when they recognize what they have actually done to cause the upset or the sadness or the disappointment of the other person, and they own that. They own their behavior and they own the effects of their behavior. So a real apology is, I'm sorry that I did that to you, or I'm sorry that I said that to you. I'm sorry that I behaved in that way. I'm sorry that I did not respect you. I'm sorry that I did not love you in that moment. So all of those apologies are focused on the person apologizing rather than the person that is receiving the apology. And that's why that's a real apology, because it involves taking accountability, accepting that your behavior has actually caused someone a difficulty, a problem, or a sadness, caused that reaction that the other person has, and owning that. Owning that means recognizing, taking on board, taking accountability that that was your behavior that caused that effect in the other person. So that's a true sorry. And the difference between the fake apology and the true apology is enormous, really, because the fake apology, the person receiving it is not actually going to really feel that, is not actually going to feel that that is an apology, that they're actually getting an apology. It's not going to really change that experience for them. Whereas a real apology, where it comes from the heart of the person apologizing, where the person apologizing has actually taken ownership and accountability for their behavior, that person receiving that apology, something will change in them. They will feel that it's true, that it's real, and something will change inside of them. Something will be alchemized, something will change, and the relationship between those two people will be able to be healed or renewed in some way, thanks to that real exchange of real feelings. So now let's look at why people find it so hard to apologize. Why somebody just actually finds it almost impossible to give another person a real apology. And I would say that is basically because the self-image of this person is attached. They have a certain self-image about themselves, which they're very attached to, and that self-image shows themselves to be basically a good, if not a perfect person. So in order for that person to give you a real apology, they need to recognize and see that they are not always a good person. They're not always a perfect person. They're not always well behaved. They have darkness, they have shadows. They project sometimes their shadows and their darkness onto other people. They are totally imperfect. They're a totally imperfect human, the same as the rest of us. And for some people, if they have really constructed this image of themselves around themselves being good, always being good, being perfectly benevolent, having good intentions, not having all this darkness and the shadows, then it may be very difficult for that person to give you a real apology, because that would mean they have to accept and admit their darkness. They have to accept and acknowledge and own their shadows. They have to take accountability for when their shadows are projected onto other people. And some people are either unwilling or really unable to really do that, because they may have spent a lifetime constructing this self-image of them, this self-image where they are a perfected being or a perfect human, or a good human who doesn't make mistakes. So that's a reason why people may not be able to really give you a true apology. And another reason why a real apology might be very difficult for someone is because they feel like they're losing power in the relationship. So if they are to actually say sorry to you in a real way, that feels to them like they are losing some power. They are losing the upper hand in that relationship. And if they're a person that needs to feel in control in their relationships, and they need to feel like they have power over you, that is going to be a very disconcerting experience. So another reason why people might find it very hard to give a real apology, to say sorry, is because a real apology requires vulnerability. It requires showing yourself fully to another person, being open about your own feelings, your own shadows. And some people might have spent their lifetime trying to become invulnerable, trying to protect themselves, trying to make sure that people are not able to cross their boundary, people are not able to hurt them. And the way they have done that is they've built up a kind of a shell around themselves, a kind of a fake self, which does not let anyone in and does not let anyone really fully see them in their vulnerability. And in order to say sorry, we really have to be vulnerable. We have to open up, we have to show our feelings, we have to show ourselves, we have to admit our imperfections, we have to own our imperfections. And if somebody has spent a lifetime trying to protect themselves from vulnerability, trying to really build up this impression of themselves, this false self, in order to be safe in the world, in order to not let anyone in order to not be hurt, then they might just really be incapable of giving you a real apology, because they're incapable of being vulnerable. They're incapable of being open in a relationship and showing their true self. You only really see them through their false self, which is this image of themselves as being this kind of perfected or being who is basically always good. So that is what I wanted to share with you today. Just a little bit about what is a real apology, what is a fake apology, and why some people find it very difficult to really give you a real apology. And this might be able to help you if you are really struggling with not being able to process something that you've gone through with this person because they're not able to give you a real apology. Understanding that that is on them, that is a result of their difficulties or challenges in life, and not actually a reflection of you, should help you to stay in your own center and not be too upset by that person's inability to give you a real apology, to give you a real sorry. It might not change your feeling, your desire for that real sorry, but it might at least help you to understand why it's not happening with this particular person. And that can also help you in future in your relationship with that person. If that's an ongoing relationship, you will know not to expect any real apologies, and you will need to work out a way of dealing with or managing that if you do stay in a relationship with a person who's unable to be really actually vulnerable with you. So remember to like and subscribe if you like this kind of content and you would like to hear more. Hit the notifications bell and you will be notified of every new video. At the moment, I am creating a new video every week. And check the description below if you are interested in working more with me on a one-to-one basis. There's a few different options. I have a Youniverse community, and I'm also now offering mentoring, one-to-one mentoring, particularly for women. So check that out below. And now I will just take you for a little walk around this beautiful Bishop's Garden here in the center of Old Town, Mallorca. Fish pond up here with bougainvillea all around. very beautiful garden here, a little respite from the busyness of a full-on tourist season here in summer in Mallorca. So signing off from Palma de Mallorca, wishing you a beautiful day, and I will see you in next week's video.